Welcome everybody to the F4 Hunger Awareness Show.
It's my goal to feed 1 billion people before I die.
We want to bring awareness around the issue of hunger and food insecurity.
7 to 8 million people served so far, with the sole goal of eradicating world hunger by connecting sources of food to recipients in need. Fiorenza's Food for Friends.
Lorenza on the F4 Hunger Awareness Show, and welcome to another educational episode. Today we're going to focus on the Garden State, home of the Jersey Shore, New Jersey. New Jersey happens to be one of the wealthiest states in the country, ranked in 2024 number 10 in terms of overall GDP. In 2025, the GDP, gross domestic product, produced almost $700 billion. The GDP measures the value of goods and services a country or a state produces. So think of it, it's the sum of consumer spending, business investment, government spending, and net exports. Often it's used to quantify the size of the economy. So that's important to keep in mind. When we use the word real GDP, so last year, 2025, the real GDP for New Jersey, 688 billion. We are adjusting that for inflation. So it's something that we kind of look at from 2024 to 2025. The GDP increased by about 1.8% or just under 2%. So that kind of sets the table for where New Jersey is currently in 2025 and where they were from 2024 to 2025, continuing to grow in terms of their gross domestic product. What we're going to focus on, though, is even though the state has done so well from a financial standpoint, we're going to focus on some of the hunger issues, food insecurity, and what it looks like, and some of the reasons potentially for that. So, as I'm stated, New Jersey is one of the wealthiest states in the country, but there are over 1 million people that every day go without food. And according to Feeding America, it's 1 in 9 individuals living in the state of New Jersey. It's 1 in 7 children. So just think about how many people you know in any given room, look around you, and out of every 9 people, that's one person that goes without food. It's food insecure. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. So New Jersey does have a food insecurity issue, as all states do, and we're going to continue to try to familiarize ourselves with some of that information. According to Feeding America, the average cost of a meal in New Jersey is $3.74, and the estimates are that it would take, according to Feeding America, $772,854,000 more per year to meet the meal requirement needs of all the over 1 million residents in New Jersey that are hungry and food insecure. In terms of food assistance through the SNAP program, and for those that don't know, SNAP, formerly food stamps, it provides temporary help for people going through difficult times, providing supplemental money to get somebody through that, a transitional period to get back onto their feet. 38% of households receiving SNAP benefits in New Jersey do have children. And then I found this stat pretty compelling. According to some economists, they estimate that for every dollar that a household redeems through the SNAP program, then it generates $1.70 in economic activity. So you're giving $1 into the system, and then $1.70 comes out. So it's actually benefiting the system, which we don't always hear the other side of welfare and support. So there are ways to help out in New Jersey. You can volunteer through Feeding America. You can become an advocate. You can follow F4, subscribe to our content. We always try to find opportunities if there's companies that want to do food drives in New Jersey or restaurants that want to do food recovery. So let's dig a little bit deeper into some of the economics. We already covered that the GDP for New Jersey is right around 700 billion, puts them in the top 10 states in the country. The household median income in New Jersey as of 2024 was $104,000, also extremely high nationwide, but the costs are pretty expensive. So for example, for an average homeowner, they have a mortgage, their monthly housing costs are around $2,800 per month, or $34,000 per year. That's money that they have to come up with just to make ends meet. The poverty level is around $15,000 for an individual, or just over $30,000 for a family of four. So the housing costs alone are greater than what the monthly costs are to run a home for those homeowners in New Jersey. Also, keep in mind, when you earn money, you pay taxes on that money. So even if somebody was earning $34,000 on the dot, they're still paying taxes. So they have to earn that much more than that just to be able to make the monthly home payments. So that notwithstanding, those are some of the challenges economically. We also see across household incomes that there has been a rise, but depending upon where you're at, the county does matter. So, for example, Morris County, which is one of the wealthier or the wealthiest on the high end in New Jersey, the median income is 137,000, but the low end, Cumberland County, is around 68,000. So we keep that in mind. Those are some of the economic um, numbers we're dealing with. Now let's dig into poverty. There are nearly 829,000 people that live below the poverty line. This is reported in 2024. Um, the poverty rate as a percent of overall population dropped. It dropped slightly from 9.7% to 9.2%. Where that ranks nationally, nationally the poverty rate's around 12.1%. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. The poverty rate also differs depending upon your economic, gender, or racial uh, status. So some of those discrepancies are reflected. The poverty rate for women was around 10.1%, whereas for men, it was around 8.2%. And then for Black, American Indian, Alaskan Native, and Latinx Hispanic residents, the poverty rate for those groups was two, in some cases, three times higher than for white and Asian residents. So some economic, gender, and racial disparities as well there around poverty. And we already covered some of hunger in New Jersey, 1 in 7 children, 1 in 9 overall individuals. The food insecurity rate of the 1.09 million people is around 12%. So 11.7 to be exact. And we covered the kind of cost of a meal and the funding that would be required to feed everybody. So what is our next step is to continue to raise awareness. You know, being aware for those individuals that need access to SNAP programs for those families, being aware of where the food banks are, where the food pantries are. You can donate financially to your local food bank. You can support food banks in your community. You can reach out to them and volunteer, or if you don't know where to start, you can reach out to F4, and we'll be happy, regardless of where you are in the country, to find a food bank or pantry or shelter that's near where you live and connect you to them for volunteer opportunities. We can arrange for you to donate financially. We can arrange for you to donate your time, your energy, your resources to kind of give back. But the way to solve this, it's going to be a combination. It's going to be a combination of philanthropy, so donating, giving our money, giving our time, the community coming together, and then eventually, policy changes that continue to support those that are falling through the cracks. Because at the end of the day, we're all children of God, and we all, you know, are struggling with something. Some of us struggle with things that are more public facing, and some of us struggle with things that are more internal. Regardless of what those struggles are, they're not better or worse. The best way to approach struggling, as Christ would, is to do so with love and with compassion and with a solution mindset. How can we come together as one people with love and with compassion to truly start solving some of these societal issues that are hurting and affecting so many families and individuals? So that's my ask. Please, if you have not already, please subscribe to our F4 Hunger Awareness Show, our channel on YouTube and Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen. And please follow us and reach out to volunteer. We're at F4 Service on social media, and our email is team@f4service.org. We'd love to have your help and your support. And ultimately, we want to do all we can to get the resources to the individuals that need it so that we can help provide more of a safety net and bridge that gap that might, unfortunately, not be catching everybody that could be potentially falling through it. So thank you for listening. We appreciate your support of our mission and our vision to create a world without hunger. And we covered the state of New Jersey and some of their hunger stats today, the Garden State. So it's known for the Jersey Shore. Unfortunately, there's also a lot of hunger and food insecurity issues within the state, and we're trying to bring awareness to that. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to the F4 Hunger Awareness Show.